Hello and welcome back to Incredamy. Today, let's go over Incredamy's terms of service. So let's start here. Terms of service for educational services. These terms of service govern your use of educational services provided by Incredamy through tidycal.com and Zoom. By accessing or using the educational services, you agree to be bound by these terms. If you disagree with any part of the terms, then you may not access the services. Registration and payment. To access the educational services, users are required to register for classes on tidycal.com. You can find a link in the description below to enroll in a class on tidycal. However, users must have a PayPal account to make purchases. So currently, the only way to pay for a class is with PayPal. So when you go to tidycal and you sign up for a class, you do need to have a PayPal account in order to pay. You do not need to have a tidycal account to sign up. 1.2. Payment for classes must be made in advance through tidycal.com using PayPal. Users agree to provide accurate payment information and authorize the provider, which is Incredamy, to charge their PayPal account for the total amount for the selected services. So that'll just be up when you enroll in tidycal. It'll give you a price point, and then you just agree, pay for the class, and then when the class starts, then you will be admitted into the class. So make sure that you are on time. When you enter the classroom, it should put you into a waiting room. So just wait until I admit you into the class. Classes. Users may sign up for classes offered by Incredamy through tidycal.com as guests. Classes will be conducted on Zoom, so you must have the Zoom app installed on whatever device you may be using. Users are responsible for ensuring that they have the necessary equipment and internet connection to participate in the classes. So here, because we're going to be doing online classes through Zoom, you do need to have a working camera and a good working microphone. So in the class, I will need to verify that the learners are children. So don't need any kind of, crazy things happening or adults trying to get into a class with children. So we're going to try to avoid all of that stuff. Users should arrive to class at least 5 minutes early. The teacher will admit users into the class at the class start time. Incredamy reserves the right to cancel the class if no user arrives or sends a message to Incredamy within 10 minutes after the class start time. In such cases, no refund will be issued. So if I am waiting for the learner or learners, if you sign up for a small group class, if nobody signs up, nobody enters the class within 10 minutes after the class start time, and I don't receive a message, the best way to contact me would be through Facebook. So the link to the Incredamy Facebook page will also be in the description below. So if you're going to be a little bit late or something came up, you can send a DM through Facebook. Refund policy. Refunds will be provided according to the following policy. 100% refund if the class is canceled by the user more than 24 hours prior to the class start time. So that just means if the day prior to the class or even later than that, something comes up and you're not going to be able to make the class, just let me know, again, through Facebook, and we'll cancel the class. You'll get a full refund. 50% refund if the class is canceled by the user less than 24 hours, but more than 12 hours prior to the class start time. So if the 24 hours have passed, and let's say that the child is sick or there's an emergency, or maybe there's a power outage, you don't have internet, whatever it may be. So up to the 12 hours before the class, you'll still get your 50% refund. But because it's so close and then it messes up the scheduling, I'm only going to offer a 50% refund on that. So This is why I have it right now to where you can only enroll 2 weeks in advance. So hopefully this will help to mitigate any cancellations, and then you can say, hey, I'll sign up for this class. I don't expect anything to go wrong. But again, I understand that there might be emergencies and illness and things like that happening. Refunds will be processed within a reasonable time frame to the user's PayPal account. So because we're using PayPal, that's how refunds will be issued. Conduct during classes. Users are prohibited from showing smoking, drinking, obscene or offensive images or actions on camera during the class. Failure to comply with this requirement may result in immediate removal from the class and termination of access to future classes without refund. So basically, because this is a class for children, we do not want to be encouraging or promoting smoking, drinking of alcohol, the obscene and offensive stuff. This pertains to just more things in the background. If we end up needing to do a screen share, so there should not be any images or things on the computer if we end up doing a screen share. So sometimes I might need to help students or look at something on their computer and help them out with something. So if that comes up, yeah, there shouldn't be anything there. I have had students in the past who have needed to use the restroom, and if they're on an iPad, they have taken the iPad with them to the restroom. So we cannot be doing that. So if there needs to be a restroom break, they just need to leave their device wherever it is. They go out, you do whatever they need to do, and they can come back. So we just kind of avoid any of this kinds of stuff. So this also includes being fully clothed. So anybody who is going to be seen on the camera, the learner or parents, siblings, whatever, they need to be fully clothed if they're going to be passing through the camera. So we don't want any kind of nudity on the camera. So please do be aware of that. Intellectual property. All content provided as part of the educational services, including but not limited to course materials, videos, and presentations, is the property of Incredamy and is protected by copyright laws. So please don't be trying to go out there and steal the information or the work that is provided to you by Incredamy and trying to use it on your own. Users may not reproduce, distribute, modify, or create derivative works of any content provided as part of the educational services without the prior written consent of Incredamy. Limitation and liability. Incredamy shall not be liable for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, or consequential damages arising out of or in any way connected with your use of the educational services, whether based on contract, tort, strict liability, or any other legal theory. So basically, it is your responsibility to make sure that, again, you have the proper equipment, you have proper internet connection. Because this is online, Incredamy is not responsible for any of your equipment or internet connection. Termination. Incredamy reserves the right to terminate or suspend accounts to the educational services for any user at any time for any reason without prior notice. So basically, if I deem that there is some kind of issue going on and I deem that, hey, this is not being appropriate, then I can withdraw and deny the services. So I do reserve the right for that. So just follow the rules. Everything will be kosher. I've not really had any issues, minor things. So, hey, if everything's kosher, then we are all good. Governing law. These terms shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of the United States without regard to its conflict of law provisions. So I am in the United States, and so that's what we're going to be using here. Any laws pertain to the U.S. Changes to terms. Incredamy reserves the right to modify or replace these terms at any time. It is the user's responsibility to review these terms periodically for changes. Continued use of the educational services after any changes to these terms constitutes acceptance to these changes, or of these changes, So yeah, so these are our initial starting terms of services. They may change or be modified in the future, so do be aware. I will try to make it known and post the updates out there for our users. By registering for classes as guests through tidycal.com and participating in classes on Zoom, users acknowledge that they have read, understood, and agreed to be bound by these terms of services. If users do not agree to these terms, they may not access or use the educational services provided by the provider, Incredamy. So basically, this is just saying that you have read, you have understood, and you're going to follow these terms of service as you are learning with Incredamy. So that's why I wanted to make this video, just so that we're all on the same page and there shouldn't be any kind of question as to what the terms of service are taking classes with Incredamy. Alrighty, thank you. I hope to see you in class. Take care.